We're back and we're turning out a mini-series for Pride season. We want to use this opportunity to celebrate the pillars of our community. Hear stories from some amazing people and lift the voices that deserve to be heard.
Tune in to hear from every part of the LGB and the T, as well as amazing representatives from our local queer charities that work tirelessly to provide help and support to us.
Yes, and in the current climate of the world, uplifting stories and helping each other, it matters more than ever. Since we started this podcast in our first season, we felt all the love from you. So this is our love letter to all of you and for Pride. Fill your boots, we're all pooped on Tootsie Train. Tootsie Train.
Hi everyone, just a little warning, this episode may contain content of a sensitive nature, including discussions around poor mental health and suicide, so please proceed with caution.
Hi, I'm Anthony and I use ChatGPT for all my one-liners.
Hi, I'm Sean and I'm trisexual. I'll try anything once.
And hi, I'm Gordon. I predict that you're going to win the lottery. No, not you, the person behind you. And welcome to Tootsie Treats. Hello, hello. We have some fabulous guests here. Again, we are here with another little episode on our Pride journaling community here in Belfast. And we've got two gorgeous guests that are kind of going to talk to us about activism, about campaigning, about all those things that lie in the heart of the community. So how are you?
Hey,
Tell everybody your names first. Sorry.
After you.
Yeah, my name is Lauren. I've been out for about 5 or 6 years now. I was named an inspirational role model last year. Was also named the Trans Community Champion for Northern Ireland and was shortlisted at the British LGBT Awards.
Ooh, what an open.
Clap it up for Lauren.
Showing us all up there.
It's quite a tough act to follow. I'm Jessie Fletcher. I came out about 5 years ago, just over 5 years ago. I'm a stand-up comedian. And I do a lot of fundraising events. I host IMC, and I work with a couple of the Sapphic and a couple of the other organisations in the area, just to try and help generate funds and raise awareness.
Love it, and that's why we have you on,
Gorgeous.
because no better people to talk to about it all. So how are you? How's life been? What's been going on?
You've had a busier time than me.
Yeah.
Lately.
Crazy. A few weeks ago, I was on with UTV podcast. This is very different to UTV podcast, I must admit.
Okay.
I hope better.
Yeah.
Lauren, you better say better.
You didn't specify where that lay. Really did, yeah.
No, it's been very busy for me. As I say, I did a podcast with UTV back in May, so I did.
And what was that for?
So it was going the extra mile, a little bit of where it came from. So I do a lot of work behind the scenes of the community, so I'm not kind of public facing about it. So I'm not, and one of the things I do is to try and set up exercise classes for the community. Now I'm not a coach, I don't look like a coach, but I certainly have got contacts that can give funding into it. So Not a Phase, who this t-shirt is kind of made from, they support and uplift trans adults in the UK, and their concept is to basically make exercise classes accessible for the community for free. Great. So that could be anything from pole dancing, Pilates, you name it, whatever exercise class that we can do. So
because the thing about sports is gay people's, LGBT people's access to it. We've always been kind of ostracized growing up and things like that.
So as well, because people don't necessarily have the confidence to go into a space because they might feel frightened. And then people would say to me, "You're just segregating people into a corner." I'm like, I'm not. I'm trying to open up doors to help them build confidence that they can then go into a mixed class. So I had someone recently say to me, "Oh yeah, I struggled so much to go to the gym, but by going to the class that you had brought in, I was able to go to the gym comfortably because I built up confidence for it," and that's what that's all about. So,
and it's such an important thing, because looking after ourselves is
very, very important.
An important thing to have, like healthy lives and not like, just all be in the bars drinking. Like have that access and taking care. Self-care is a really big part of it.
Absolutely. Isn't it? I started with pole dancing five years ago. I just integrated myself straight into class and was like, I love this.
Where do you do pole?
Polar size is where I mainly train. I've trained also in inverted pole academy as well. With the lads over there, but mainly polar size. But yeah, so the Not a Phase stuff kind of triggered a conversation with UTV around their podcast about going the extra mile.
Okay.
And one of the researchers kind of reached out and said, yeah, we're interested in having a conversation with you. And one came together and we kind of brainstormed it. We kind of storyboarded it. We obviously took safety into consideration as well, because we all know what the media is like, you know.
Yeah, of course.
There are some media outlets out there that are good, you know, but there are some media out there that are absolutely horrible. So safety was taken into consideration, and I do have to say the aftercare from UTV was amazing.
Good.
Really good, you know. So there's been a few.
Well, it's brave of you too, because it's the exposure of being on a bigger platform, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think the podcast has got close to 1 million hits within a couple of weeks.
That's insane.
You know?
No.
That's
And
the
it's
dream,
crazy.
girls.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. But it's more than a little terrifying too.
Yeah, of course.
But that's
Yeah.
the thing, it is terrifying. You know, the podcast the week after was I can't remember the topic off the top of my head what the person was talking about, but it was medical research or something. And it only got 10,000 hits in 2 days, you know, whereas mine was tracking 150,000 hits in 2 days.
Wow.
Now, some of it
Insane.
probably was coming from negative crap from people, but it still was like, whoa, this is actually a viral moment. I've created a viral moment here, you know, and it's like that's things like, whoa, this is something that's going.
Well, the hope is, I mean, for anybody that's trans or out there, the hope is that if you get through, at least through to a couple of people, if say they watch it and they realise, okay, what I've been told isn't the
Yeah.
reality.
A few people have said that to me, you know.
Yeah, it's like the discourse underneath the videos or the pictures really creates exposure, both in good and bad ways.
That and what the comments underneath, that's what kept me in for 9 months after I knew.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the world I expected to be outside was not the world that was actually outside.
Yeah.
When I did finally get up to the stuff, actually being outside, it's still not perfect, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's a lot gentler than what you expect when you imagine that the wizard lady and all of her minions are going to come for you. Because that was the perception I had back then. Sorry, we're getting away from the topic here,
Yeah.
but
No, it's
that
okay.
shift is terrifying. So
It is.
it is important to provide a real good perspective. So
Yeah.
that is the import of it.
And
Well,
also, well done and thank you for putting your face to something so viral and creating
Yeah.
a viral moment, because it's not easy to do that.
It's not, and I mean, one of the comments I got was, it was nice to see a positive conversation in local media that's never been seen before, because anytime you see us on the media locally, we're getting bashed, you know, left
Yeah.
and right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people that are feeling they're getting hit by Mike Tyson left and right because it's
Yeah.
like Cliff Haggard's coming. It's just like, it's just a lot of negative spew, but it's just nice to see something positive on.
Well, the fact that you're there in an activism role, I think, shows people that maybe don't have any or have misleading stories or perceptions. It's like you doing work for people and helping people. That in itself is a positive story, right?
It is, absolutely.
So that's a new dimension of humanity to it all,
Yeah.
that maybe some people don't see that, you know?
Absolutely. And there's been people in rural communities that have seen it have actually reached out to me and said, you know,
Oh.
you've inspired me and understand that I know that you aren't bad people, you're good people, you know. And all it takes is that conversation for people to hear it and understand, you know, we're just human beings at the end of the day. We're like everyone else, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what you were telling us about, you were away at the awards there?
I
What
was
that?
away at the awards last week, or a few weeks ago by the time this podcast goes out. It was the British LGBT Awards. I was up for Inclusive Campaigner. One of the things that gave me that kind of nomination was within the corporate world. I do a thing called reverse mentoring, which is like, you think of a mentor, it's someone basically learning from someone quite senior, whereas a reverse mentor is that you are actually mentoring a senior leader about something. So some of the leaders in the past I was reverse mentored, some of them may have been closed-minded and have opened their mind.
Okay.
Not all of them have opened their mind, and that's totally respectable and totally understandable. They don't want to open their mind, that's fine. But
I don't think it's fine.
I was gonna say.
I don't. Sorry. Open your mind, bitches.
there is a respectful way of doing it. You know, to
Yeah.
me, I don't go pushing down someone's throat. If someone
Yeah.
comes to me and wants to learn that's closed-minded to open their mind, happy days. You know, that's good.
Yeah.
And if somebody just doesn't want to open their mind and you've tried to teach them and they say, I don't want to learn anymore, that's okay. Just then stop the conversation.
I think the
Follow me.
trying is the
Trying's
tried to
important.
done it is the important thing.
Trying's the important thing. You know, if you can establish that, and if you make progress, great. If you don't, it's not the end of the world. Move on to the next person,
Yeah.
you know. But it's important not to push something down someone's throat.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, so that was one of the reasons why I got shortlisted. And but the talent in the room was absolutely incredible, and the person that won it was thoroughly deserved to win it.
We still ranked top 10.
Top 10,
Ranked
yeah.
top 10,
Amazing.
which is an amazing achievement.
In the Mayfair in London.
In Mayfair,
Living
in
the
London,
high life.
in the
Name
Marriott. I want to give actually a huge thanks to Bobby Pickard at Transit City, who actually got me the tickets. Transit City do a wonderful job over in the UK. They actually named a changemaker list recently, and I was on it along with 3 other trans people from Northern Ireland. People think there was only 3 on it, but there actually was 4. There was myself, there was obviously Leo Lardy, Lee Hurley, and there was another.
Yeah,
Yes,
Leo's
Leo's
coming
coming
on.
on.
There was one other guy, no, he doesn't live in Northern Ireland anymore, but he's from Northern Ireland, a guy called Samuel.
Right.
So it was actually quite interesting to go and meet him in person. We were all invited over to Channel 4. We got to go around Channel 4 studios, and
Class.
I got to meet people like Fox Fisher. I got to meet people like Tate Smith. All these incredible activists that are doing amazing work. There's so many other people I forgot the name, but there's just so many amazing people in the room.
Well, being in the room with like shared people and inspirational people, I think is always a good thing, right?
Yeah, and it's also necessary. Like with the work you're doing, and the work both of you guys or girls are doing, is so necessary. Just call it out. I said guys, I said girls.
And guys is not a gendered
I
technically,
know,
so
but
don't.
it's-
But I
know,
saw you
but
have the
it's
little
me.
panic.
Anthony's on the struggle bus.
The sweat, this wig is going to slip off my head.
Just in this situation, I do like to make him panic a little, so I just thought we could have a little chat about
She's
it.
putting me under pressure. She told me she was
Look,
going to beat me up if I said the
Before we
wrong
went
thing.
on, she was really. Sorry.
Girls,
Only fair, darling.
No.
I feel that was allowed.
girls,
Yes,
call me shit all day long, please.
he was
I-
panicking, so I thought we'll torture him just a touch because he was always gonna say, "Yeah, let's make him sweat."
I'm loving it.
But the advocacy and the work you are doing is so needed, and this is one of the biggest, if not the biggest reason why we wanted to do this Pride mini-series, is to give back to our trans brothers and sisters, to the most underrepresented, if not one of the most underrepresented parts of our community, and the people that we want to give a voice to as much as we possibly can, as 3, like which Gordon doesn't like to say privileged, but like privileged white gay males. We need to be able to lift these voices in here. So I really want to dig deep. I want to know your story. I want to know your backgrounds.
Can I just say
Jessie.
there's one other
Yeah,
minor
of
that
course.
you're missing, which is intersex.
Yes, of course.
It's another area that doesn't get a lot of representation, and there's some fabulous intersex people in this
And we
country.
are trying to get, we've been reaching out to a few intersex people to have them on the pod to do their own episode. That is, we are wanting to do that. But because it's a trans episode and we really want to hear your stories and we want to give you your voice, Jessie, tell me about your coming out experience 5 years ago.
Wow. Oh, interesting. Okay, yes. I figured this out in March of 2021.
Yeah.
And I immediately... Am I allowed to swear?
Yes.
Good. I immediately shat myself. Because, I mean, as has already indicated, the perception at that time of what was going on in the press and what was being said was for someone who has had the really easy ride of being a straight, cis, white male. An English one at that. Which is, you say you don't like to be called privileged. I understand why. But that's a gear shift. There was whiplash.
Yeah.
And I had to really start. And to be honest, it was only through support of cis women friends. First of all, I had no skills. I had been dressing the most boring way imaginable, with access to no good colours, no good cuts, none of the good stuff that comes with this. Or with even being a gay man. You look at your shirt. I wouldn't have dared wear that. I mean, Jesus, I wouldn't have dared wear that.
Neither
You
would I.
shouldn't have.
This is me saying I'm not privileged.
But yes, to go back, where was I? Yes, coming out. It was only essentially at the time I knew where I wanted to get to.
Yeah.
And it was getting there that was going to be the tricky part. So I basically figured out who was the best at all the bits. And they were the girls I came out to first. And I had a word with them, and they're like, I need your help. And they kind of went shopping with me while I stood with them while they were going through action. I'm like, and that was such a joyful experience, and something I'm so grateful for. There are two particular women who they saw me put on heels for the first time and walk, and I can still remember that feeling and the smile creeping across me. And I kind of did a little dancey dance on the spotlight. And I've just suddenly, and there were so many little things that I did the first time, and it just made you kind of just go, yes. And then we reached a point. I was managing an artist, a musician in the city, a lad called Joel Harkin. He was doing his album launch. I was managing him, and I was also playing bass for him because that's cheaper. Rather than hire two people, we'll get a twofer.
Resourceful.
Yeah, in many ways, I'm a twofer. But I decided to perform as Jessie. And I was introduced as Jessie. That's the first time that that narrative got beyond my control. There were more than 100 people in the room. There's no way I can say, I need you to hold off on this until I feel ready. And then after that, I realised after about 2 weeks later, it hadn't been him getting out of bed anymore. And it never had been, but I wasn't even trying anymore. And I'd realised that I'd actually kind of done it. Because I had been going out in slightly more femininity being presented, and I just realised that I wasn't even worrying about it anymore. Yeah. And very quickly after I had this very odd experience, you know the front of Queen's where that statue is?
Yeah.
I was walking past there and I was looking at my phone. It was the first time I'd consciously been aware that I wasn't conscious of everyone else being aware of me, because I felt different. So yeah, I've suddenly lost enough in something else that this wasn't terrifying. And that for me is the moment this was real.
Yeah.
And that will always be that moment. I couldn't tell you the date. I wish I could.
Yeah.
I'd love to know when that happened. I can't remember what the fuck I was reading.
Yeah.
And if I could, I would know.
Yeah.
But
you remember the
But you were just gone.
But that feeling was, and I was like, there it is.
It wasn't even a day, it was a moment.
It was purely just really gorgeous little thing. It's so mine. That's the first time I've ever spoken about it. Now you're saying it, which is interesting.
No, but it's fabulous that you feel that way.
So, and on the lead up to that, were you always aware?
I wasn't, but there's a really funny thing that happened for about 4 or 5 years. As I was approaching 40, I've always referred to myself as a boy, and I realised I was getting too old to do that anymore.
Right.
And I was like, I should really probably start trying to use man. And I was having, those drunken conversations you have with your mates. Like, it's really funny. A complete lack of self-awareness. It's so odd. I'm so fine with boy, which and I understand that. Boy's not a term that really bothers me.
Yeah.
But it's. I'm not. I was never, and I will never be a man.
I mean, it makes perfect sense when you say it.
Yeah,
really,
but at the time, I'm saying this to people, and they're just like, "Yeah, that is funny," and I'm like, "Yeah, isn't it weird?" And and then a pandemic comes, and then I have a load of time to think, and it's like, "Oh, shit."
It hits.
And then there was a few other pennies dropping, and they had been coming, but now, and the minute I did come to understand, it was like dominoes. It was one thing after another, and it was like, oh my God, my entire life actually makes so much more sense now. And that was what it was. It was loads of
overwhelming,
loads of things that have never fit.
Yeah.
And while you do say overwhelming, I weirdly, I know I looked at a clock at various important moments. I had a phone conversation. I hung up the phone at 3 minutes past 12 on an afternoon. And then I sat there and I thought for 26 minutes, and I called the Rainbow Project at 29 minutes past and said, "Hi, I think I'm trans and I probably need to talk to somebody." in that 26 minutes, all the dominoes fell. And I came pretty sure that I was saying to them, I think I knew.
Yeah. But it's also so good that you have somewhere like the Rainbow Project to be able to pick the phone up to and to be able to make that phone call. The fact there's a resource out here in Belfast in such a backwards country that you are able to go and pick that phone up is a fantastic.
It does the heavy lifting in so many ways.
It does.
The Rainbow Project.
I just want to go back a little bit further than that. Mm-hmm. Where is your accent from?
I'm from a place called the Black Country, which is just outside Birmingham. I grew up essentially very, very close to a football team. It's the easiest landmark. Who knew that? How did you know that?
He's the secret football lover. We only found.
Well, I mean, it was 1 or 2, and you didn't go for Wolves, and I'm impressed.
We found this out on the
my blow
podcast.
should have said it, but it says sequence stars.
We found it out on the podcast that he loves football and he
It's a
collects.
guilty pleasure as a gay man.
Now,
Can you imagine?
interesting thing. I realise now I use football to hide. It was a safety thing.
So you play football?
No, I'm shit at football.
Not from what to
But
try.
at the same time, growing up, I learned to know more about football than all the boys who are good at football.
As a safety
Because
mechanism?
if I know more about it than them, they can't challenge who I am.
Or
Yeah,
like
because
if they're going to ask you a question, you're ready for it?
Yeah, and I was always, I know so much about the nitty-gritty crap of football.
Does that annoy you?
No, and well, to a certain
That would
degree.
piss me off so
Well,
much.
No,
I would be like, why the fuck do I know about fucking Robbie Keane and not know about Britney Spears? Like, no, I'd be so annoyed.
It turns out I don't care for the actual match that much. I can see the value in it, but the culture and the everything that surrounds football, the fucking romance of it, the community,
Euphoria.
the weird, mad, daft
Magnetism to
humour,
it.
the silly jokes about a certain player and the way he runs. There was a lad who played for West Brom. He ran like a fucking ostrich. The first game I ever saw him, I moaned. I thought he was shite. And for 81 minutes, he was crap. But I was there going, we've wasted our money. Look at him, he runs like fucking up.
Your accent's really coming out there.
And that little shit scored a hat trick. And as a result, the people I was with, that they've always given me shit over the day. I slagged off Andy Hunt, and said he looked like an ostrich, but he's my favourite. He became my favourite player.
Yeah.
So you did immerse yourself in that football scene.
And there is a lot to love there, but so much of it was about the people there. And I did learn to love some of the blokes who play for the team. You do, because it's a soap opera. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Tap.
You're okay.
But it's a soap opera you kind of really are part of and invested in.
So can you take me back to little Jessie
Yes.
and being a little boy? I'm going to
yes.
okay with
No.
me saying that?
You are. He was.
He was.
I talk to keep my head straight. I generally refer to the previous times. I talk about him as a he, and because I sort of I liked him. He kept me safe. No,
That's why you're who you are.
He kept me safe.
Yeah.
So I really do talk about him with a lot of respect. Despite a lot of difficulties, he didn't turn out to be a twat. and he looked after me, protected me, took a lot of lumps for me without really understanding why. And when it came time, he was very happy to step aside and go, it's your turn.
I'm very brave.
And I love him for that. And I always
Yeah.
will. But as a little boy, it was a weird experience because preschool, I in many ways, without any of the extra fluff, I was a little girl. I was quiet. I was polite. I was not the little boy.
You want a
typical.
boisterous little...
No, I just wanted to retreat into a corner and have my own time, my own pace. My sister was much more of a boy than me. In so many ways, a little dick. But then it was school where slightly prior to school, I did used to get grief, for instance, over being asked my favourite colour, because most adults would tell me I couldn't pick pink. I learned to answer green. It was easier. It was safer. But then school comes and the separation really kicks in. And then my mum says school really made me very, very sad, and she could never really figure out why, because I was very good at it. But I now I didn't really let myself understand at the time, if you know. And as I grew older, I avoided that. And that was realistically being forced to be friends with these people who were not the ones I chose before we got to infant school. At nursery reception, you're given a lot more latitude, and you being friends with the girls is fine. But the older you get, the more that separation comes.
Yeah.
And then it was a difficult time all the way through. And when it came to puberty, after the way, because I was a wee relatively soft and quiet boy. I was called gay the whole way through. So when it turned out I wasn't, I was fucking astonished. I was like, oh, I'm into girls. Shit. That's not what I saw coming, and it did make it quite difficult to get a girlfriend because everyone just assumed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about all school, I mean, and growing up for a lot of people in the LGBTQ is difficult because it's easier to assimilate when you've got similarities with people, and you're at a certain age. We all try to become autonomous by stepping away from our parents, and it doesn't happen straight away in school. It happens like from maybe 9 to like 13, and your shift on who you take example of and how you try to acclimatize then turns to your friends outside of family resources. So whenever you're already before that, if you have an awareness of that and you have an awareness of difference, it's just another wall that just is like...
With the lack of that, I just felt very separated. And when it turns out the thing that I thought was separated to be turned out not to be there, I really didn't know where to go at that point. So I was very... Puberty through to about 16, 17, I was very messed up. I was all over the place.
Do you think that's where your humour and things came from then?
Yeah, no, it is. It's
because you talking about the football there, to me, I was like,
very
that's just shade. That's just like,
that's exactly what that is. It's finding. I could fit in well with football. I was smart enough to know what was going on, and a very valuable thing amongst those crowds is being funny and sharp. And especially, I don't know, do you know anyone from the back country? Because Jesus, we're acidic.
My brother's partner's from there.
You know what I mean, don't you? We can be quite coos and quite short and a little bit venomous. And that's not something I don't think I've brought with me, I hope, anyway.
No, but it's definitely to the point. And but I feel like that we share that similarity from Belfast to sort of like the Brummy area.
I say this about here, because I'm half Geordie, I'm half Brummy. The Brummies are self-deprecating to a fault. And the Geordies will start a conversation with themselves, and Belfast is that combined.
Combo.
That's exactly us.
So as soon as I first started coming here, I was like, oh no, this place is very much for me.
What brought you here?
I was seeing a girl who got a job here.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. She was coming to... Sorry, I'm sitting away from that. She was coming to be a doctor.
Okay.
I was going out with someone who was trying to be a GP, or doing the GP bit, and they were doing their bit of that here. So I spent 6 months bouncing between, but honestly, the first couple of visits, I was like, oh, this place.
Yeah.
I mean, it don't get me wrong, there's problems. But in its own way, Birmingham has its own problems. I think we've had bin men for 2 years in Birmingham, as far as I can tell. So, yeah, very different problems. But no, this place, I fit here in a way I never did there.
And escapism.
And now I fit even more.
Yeah.
No, I know, but you know, I did all right. I think here is a kinder and gentler place than most of England.
Wow, that's actually...
And I think many of the challenges this area has faced has taught people to be patient, has taught people to listen and to not push people past what they can tolerate. Managers are much kinder. Managers are much more tolerant. Managers will give you time and space. Far more than back home. It's not all of them. There's still arseholes out there. And it's not just employment, it's generally across the board. People notice when things are wrong here.
Yeah.
And I think for someone who's always had a hard time for one reason or another because of a lack of awareness, that's what I was seeing here that was helping me. And I don't think you would have ever met me if I'd never left home.
Wow.
Because I don't think I'd have got here there.
Oh.
So this is my city.
Maybe all the tolerant and inclusive managers are down to Lauren. I mean, she's in the corporate world, so maybe our two worlds are colliding here.
Could be.
Do you want to take the credit?
Whipping them all into shape.
But just to go back, Lauren, obviously it's comfortable to talk about it as much as you want or as little. Your childhood and your coming out, and how did that come about for you? What was your discovery?
Yeah, my coming out was very different. I'm a kind of country, culture person, whatever you want to call us.
Whereabouts are you from?
Country, culture, Mid-Ulster area.
Mid-Ulster, okay.
I won't say the name of the town.
Oh, there's nothing there. There's nothing there.
Yeah,
we'll say that.
Not there, but cheap. No, it was a very different experience for me. I was kind of growing up as a young person. I struggled in different aspects. I was more friends with the girls than I was with the boys, and I wasn't really interested in having a relationship with a girl. And actually, one of my very closest friends from my childhood kind of recognized there was a difference in me, but she never told me because she wanted me to say it first before somebody didn't want to put words in my mouth, which we all get. You want to be the first to say it. That was the first person I ever come out to before I actually came out in therapy. But around about 2018, 2019, there was a bad period in my life. There was one night I remember waking up and wanting to slice my throat, essentially, because I didn't want to be here. You know, and there was something in my head at that time. This was 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I need to talk to someone. I don't know who it is, but I need to fucking talk to someone. And in my head, I was like, who am I going to talk to at 2 o'clock in the morning? So I have a friend in New York, and my corporate brain was thinking, New York is in the evening time. We'll give them a call and see if they'll pick up the phone.
I love in that darkness you thought, who actually will be awake? And I don't want to inconvenience someone, like, God love you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's 2 hours ahead, let's do that. Do you know, it's so practical.
I don't know what was in my head at the time, but I was like, I don't want to waken anybody up. I'll ring someone in a different time zone. So she picked up the phone, and I don't remember everything after it. I don't remember anything after it. All I know is the next day I woke up, she rang me back, and she's like, are you okay? And I was like, a bit tired, why? And she's like, you rang me last night and I did not understand what you were saying. She says, you have the thickest Northern Irish accent and I can understand you normally, but I could not understand you last night. But she says, I sensed there was something wrong. So I talked to you for about 45 minutes until you fell asleep, essentially. And it was that point I was like, right, fuck, I need to go to the doctor. Because if I don't go to the doctor, I'm going to do something else. Because whilst there was that instance of slitting my throat, there was times I was like just wanting to take the car and drive it into a wall, you know. So I didn't really know much about the Rainbow Project at the time, so I just went to my doctor and I was like, I need help. Now, I had done therapy before, but I found it just wasn't working. And the doctor said to me, she said, okay, I'm going to give you 3 choices. And one of them was actually a charity local to me called the Olive Branch, who offer free counselling to absolutely anybody who needs it. And that's where I came out, was the Olive Branch. Okay.
Can I ask just, was it playing in your mind that you were aware of the issue?
Oh yeah.
Or it was there? Okay.
That's right.
I think the big challenge I had was where I was living at. I knew it wouldn't have been a safe place. So it was.
So you felt like it was something you were needing to do, but you didn't feel safe.
Correct. And that's not a family thing. It's just more the environment
geographically.
Around, you know, geographical. Because even growing up, it's like in young, you know, I'm an 80s baby, so 90s, early 90s. What's
up the 80s babies, all about
it. What's been trans?
All right, grannies.
Yeah, exactly. I'll probably talk about an icon later, but that I came across. But you know, growing up in a very small country town, even being gay was a challenge. A lot of people that came out gay all disappeared.
Still can be as well,
and very, very much too. And there's a lot of people that actually come to me in like confidence and saying, you're like, it's helped them to sort of come to their terms themselves, whether they're gay or whatever they are. You know, it's helped them to sort of understand themselves better. But coming out in that kind of small town environment, it was really, really hard. You know, so because I knew for a long time there was something wired in my brain different. I just couldn't. It kind of had 2 and 2 was together, but I just couldn't take that brave enough step to say, right, I'm trans.
Also, like, what was the conversation then? Do you even really understand? You know, as well, like.
Yeah.
So was this around 2018, you said?
So I started therapy in 2020 in the height of COVID. Certain Prime Minister came on the TV and said, you almost work at home. And that was when I was trying to find therapy. So
you had struggled right up to that point with knowing that you felt different. Correct. And that you were female.
Correct.
In the wrong body and that you were struggling really badly mentally with this. You got to a point where it was too much and you reached out to a friend. And at that point, how did your family or the people closest to you take that? Did you come out to those people? Do you feel safe enough to speak about that, or how do you?
Before I got on to the family bit, I spent about 9 months in therapy at that point when I started therapy, and I always refer to myself as the Russian doll inside me. Just was
Love that analogy.
Not the
Yeah.
Russian doll.
there's that Russian doll kind of inside that just was struggling to pull out, you know.
It's a great analogy, yeah.
It's very, very good. And actually, Lynn Baxter, who's one of our biggest supporters, actually gave me a little Russian doll at the weekend as a little gift, which was pretty cute.
So cute.
And it's always something I refer back to because it is quite a powerful thing to refer back to my own personal journey, because my therapist helped me to build up my confidence to be able to open myself up, you know, and talk about myself.
And even the idea of opening up the Russian doll.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's such a good thing.
Exactly.
When you say therapy, what type of therapy was that? What did that look like?
It was just generic talking therapy to allow.
Yeah.
It was a safe space that I could talk to someone who I knew wasn't going to judge me, who I knew was. Now, the person did admit at the time when I came out that they weren't qualified to support any further, but they said, I would recommend you go on to the Rumba Project in Belfast and they'll be able to support better, because I've taken it to the point where I can't really advise anymore or help you anymore, as much as they would love to at the time said, but I was actually pretty thankful that they admitted it
Was a good practitioner.
Yeah, very, very. And the person actually at that time only had recently qualified, and she actually said that I was one of her most fascinating clients at the start when she was starting in her journey as a counsellor. So, and they've actually invited me to a mental health charity event they're doing now in a few weeks' time. So, I'm gonna go and see what that's like. It should be a good night. But yeah, so coming back to the question around family and community. Coming out to family was quite hard, so it was. Specifically, my family, there's two different analogies to look at. You've got supportive and you've got acceptance, and they're two very, very different things. People can support you for different reasons, but not accept. And a lot of my family are in that bucket. There's a supportive nature, but there's not a lot of acceptance. There is some acceptance, but not a lot. And you probably know this yourself, growing up in Northern Ireland with the whole kind of religious thing between Protestants and Catholics, people can get bitter very quickly. And that's what I noticed with some people, you know, whether it be homophobic behaviour, whether it be transphobic behaviour, whether it even be sectarian behaviour, you know, you kind of know certain traits of people that you just don't feel safe you can come out to. So I knew coming out to people was going to be quite tough, you know, and I came out to my parents not long after I come out in therapy. And it shocked my mum, so it did, and my dad, I can't really, it's not something I talk about too much, but he didn't really want to show support or acceptance, you know. He kind of just put the bar up and just didn't pretend it didn't exist, you know. He has since realised the positive impact it has on me, but he still struggles to show acceptance, you know, and he wants to show support, but he doesn't want to show support. Is that type of thing?
Can I ask, just for our listeners, like, what does acceptance look like for a trans person?
Acceptance to me looks like for a trans person would be acknowledging in your name, you know, your preferred name, or legal name, whatever you want to refer to it as. Being respectful as well, you know. But obviously I'm not a parent, so I can't talk about what it's like to be a parent, but I can imagine it's difficult for a parent to process. And it's one of those things you have to give a parent time in order to come to terms with it. If it takes a few years, it takes a few years, but, you know, at the end of the day, if you love your kids unconditionally, you'll do what you can for them, and you'll try and show acceptance in time. You know, just there's tools out there that can help parents come to terms with it. You know, because obviously you're either losing a son to gain a daughter, or losing a daughter to gain a son. You know, and there's obviously a process and an element you have to go through with that, but you can't bury your head in the sand in it. You know.
Well,
No.
I'm a parent, so like I have two girls, and I would hope that at any point in their life that they ever came through any similar experiences, that they would be able to open up to us and they'd be able to speak to us. I completely understand. I am a gay man and I come up within the community, but I feel like a lot of the issues here are generational. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
but
no, it is.
that's what I feel like it is. I feel like it's generational, and I feel like
so
as
there's
hard
particularly an element in the country areas and those sort of, it's just not even country areas, it's relative to Belfast too and back in the day, but so it's conformance because like being related to paramilitaries or looking like a tout or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
It was like toeing the line and
Oh, yeah.
not, keeping up with the Joneses, looking very similar to the family next door.
Yeah.
So any indifference was intolerable.
Yeah.
For,
Yeah.
and it's that is psyche is still very much in people here.
Like,
Yeah.
a few stories from my childhood past. Like one thing I'll get before that. One thing I will say about my mum. My mum's been quite an open and supportive person since day one. She and my sister probably were the main two that really got behind me. It took my mum time to adjust. She still works through it, but she's a lot more supportive. And like she was with me at the awards recently, and she had an absolute fab time. And like we met. I don't know if you've come across them, Alan and Adam. They're two gay husbands. They've massive social media following, and I was like, "Oh, this is my mum," and like, "Okay, you're going to be mummy there for the night," and they were calling her mummy. She was absolutely loving life. She was loving life. But
throw in the gay men to flirt
Yeah.
with her. That'll make her feel better.
Exactly. She loved meeting Boy George as well. But coming back to that childhood thing, you talk about the troubles there. Where I grew up at, across the road from me, there was dissident Republicans. Where I lived at, there was Europeans' most wanted men. There also, the day I was born, there was a guy shot dead. So there was a lot of kind of, and part of my family was deep rooted within unionism as well, and parts of my family were also part of political scenes too, so that tension there, kind of like there's a lot of generational trauma there that people just don't want to recover from. Some people do take that brave step to recover from it, and it's not easy to recover from it.
It's also like the mental health system. It's just not there to help those people, is it really?
The skill set's not there, and it's also like the verbiage that we're learning. I'm learning.
I feel like
That
all of our
we-
generation
yeah.
is really the ones that are feeling like we're having to.
We have a health service in name.
Yeah.
We don't have a health service.
Yeah.
There's so many things, unless there's a leg falling off or an arm falling off or a bit of you that's broken they can physically replace, they'll give you 6 weeks of counselling and you go back to work.
Yeah.
Can I ask?
No, it's true.
Can I
It's
throw that
not
in
enough.
there? Like, as both trans women, how have you found the NHS and how have you found that experience? I know you kind of just touched on it, but I really want to know.
For me, mine has been pretty positive.
Okay.
Waiting times for the GIC, the length time.
Sorry,
haven't never
explain
seen
GIC to me
So
because
it's
I'm
gender
stupid.
identity clinic. It's when you'd be referred in for referrals to likes of a psychologist who would assess you for gender dysphoria.
How long did you wait?
What's that?
How long have you waited? Did you get
I'm
through
still
the
on the
process?
wait list.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought
I've
you were
done a lot
saying
of
you'd got
mine-
through it. No,
I've done a lot of my transition privately, so I have.
Okay.
But any interactions I've had with doctors, consultants, 95% of the time I've had pretty positive experience.
their attitude is positive and is apologetic because they can do nothing. And
Well-
that is entirely the experience I've had.
So like for me, idiot, the doctors are apologetic and they want to help you as much as they can, but the system isn't allowing them
but
to do that.
there are things that they may have been able to do once that they're not allowed to do anymore. The ability of them to help us with obtaining bloods,
Yeah.
that's been taken away effectively
Yeah.
in the last 5 years.
Well, less than that.
There was some who wouldn't.
There still is some that do, but not very many.
There's very few,
Not
and I
very
think they're having to pay for that out of the.
Explain
surgery
that to
budget.
me again, a
So-
layman's
that's
terms,
shared care.
please.
That's shared care.
That would be shared care. Basically, if we went and accessed private care,
Yeah.
'cause at the minute, as I understand it, the waiting list in Northern Ireland is something like 63 years.
It's
I'll
crazy.
be 115 odd.
Wow.
Before you can access
Before I
shared
can-
care.
No,
before I
not
can
necessarily.
access the health service and start going on to HRT. That's for me to talk to a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
There
On
is
NHS.
there is one or two. There's
There's
one
one.
service, and I believe in 2023 they onboarded 13 people.
Yeah.
Wow.
These are the things that our listeners need to
effectively
hear.
closed.
This
It's
is what our
effectively closed.
listeners need
I
to
wouldn't
hear.
It's say it's
Functionally been
effectively
closed by the
closed.
government.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's effectively closed, but it's very reduced capacity. There's one person in there doing it, and they're coming over maybe twice, maybe 3 times a month.
Yeah.
And it's maybe once a week, and she's maybe doing 2 or 3 appointments at the time.
Girl, that is closed. I am sorry.
Yeah.
Well, it's
But
close to me,
on
it's
the
close to
grand
you.
scheme
Oh, no,
of
yeah,
things,
it's
and,
definitely.
and and like to the amount of trans people in Northern Ireland, and there's one person dealing with this, on a few days a week, that is a fucking disgrace.
It is. It is.
That, and you need to call it for what it is. I'm sorry, that is a fucking disgrace. You're having to pay for private healthcare when you should be able to, you're paying taxes like everyone else. You should be able to access this healthcare like that. You should be able to ring a GP and be able to get whoever the fuck you want on the phone. You shouldn't have to ring a Rainbow Project to try and get someone who's a charity to be able to help you save your fucking life. You should not have to do that. Yeah. You shouldn't be also feeling like you have to, oh, it's all right, but no, it's not fucking normal. And these conversations need to be had. You should need to be able to explain it to me because I am ignorant,
like you said,
I'm
it's
sorry.
Life-saving.
It is
life-saving. It's life-saving. And like, so you're saying you couldn't get bloods taken? Is that right?
Well, if let's say I just to explain because we skipped a bit.
No,
now I've gone private.
Yeah. So you're paying for it.
Once upon a time, I've paid to see a psychiatrist. I'm diagnosed with gender dysphoria. That means I can now go on and speak to a endocrinologist about a prescription of HRT. Now, I will need to present them with blood work so they can have an assessment of what my situation is and continue to do that through the process of medication being prescribed in the first few stages. Once upon a time, I could have gone to my GP and they'd have helped me with the blood work and provided with test results. Now I have to pay for those privately, and each time that's between like 40 and 60 quid a go, on top of the appointment with the endocrinologist, which is about at the minute around 300. The psychiatrist appointments are about 300 go a pop. Yeah. With the endocrinologist, it's one of those about depending. Initially, you'll have a first appointment, probably another one after 3 months, and a second one 3 months again later, and then about one every 6 months. So functionally speaking, my endocrinologist stuff in a year is going to cost me about 1,200 quid. Yeah. The psychiatrist stuff, to I've got the diagnosis.
To live. Well, then, I'm fucking sorry, but that's to live.
Then
that's
you've got to pay. Sometimes you might have to pay for the meds too.
Yeah.
And that's like a subscription service, so you're looking about another 30 quid or 40 quid a month on top of that. So that's basically a phone contract about 2 years ago, a month, just for meds. Mm-hmm. And that's
it's
just
a disgrace.
to keep it going.
Nowhere else. No other type of healthcare do you have to go fully private for anything
without
a choice.
There's a few things, but yes, trans would be one of those ones you do have to find yourself going private, like because GPs are kind of been withdrawn with a lot of shared care, not just with trans folk there, even ADHD, the neurodiverse stuff, they're finding a struggle to support that as well, and it all comes down to funding. Funding's a big issue,
I know, but I think a lot of it is coming with stigma too.
There is
so many people are diagnosed with ADHD now. There's so many trans people.
How do we change this? I'm sorry, but what can we do to?
I think the idea of, like you saying about the ADHD and trans, like that, it's and the sort of overfamiliarity and the derogatory terms used against it. It just makes it easy for a crushed health system to go, okay.
Also, why are they lumped in together? Why are they lumped together? That's two different things.
We've developed a kind of society that sees people like us, people with autism, with ADHD, and it's like going, oh, these people have always suffered, they've always had a problem, and it's good to see that. So then society goes, oh, well, you should go and get help. And the health service goes, Jesus, we've got fuck all already. The health service is already on its fucking knees. The Tories have been defunded it. So what goes? And the people who pay the taxes, the lion's share of the taxes are rich or they are businesses. Yeah. They're not interested in helping people who are mentally unwell. They can work as long as they turn up and fill the seat and answer the phone. That'll probably do. If their arm's falling off, we can't do that. If their legs falling off, we can't do that. If they're having a heart attack, they can't do that. But their brains, we can bodge that with 6 weeks of therapy.
Yeah.
And that's cheaper.
There was
That's it.
It's a band-aid.
Yeah, it is. And this is a country that is staggering forward that's kind of dying. Yeah. I'm not talking about I'm talking about the UK.
Yeah. There was money set aside for trans healthcare last year, but it seems to have quietly disappeared.
No, it's
£10,000. I'm sorry. 10 million or 10,000?
I can't remember what it was. But
they were trying, or the DUP were trying to fold that in.
No,
they weren't trying to block it. They were trying to use it for fucking version therapy. Yeah, that's technically trans care from their point of view.
But basically,
oh my God,
right. Had come out saying that there was an allocation of funding that was going to be allocated for trans healthcare, which would have commissioned more endocrinologists and whatever. But you kind of go back to the question there: what can we do to try and change perception? Is that it's more trying to make people not fearful for their jobs, because there's endocrinologists out there that want to do, but there's so much red tape and there's so many blockages that they have, and it becomes a political scene issue, It's a tough one, so it's a really, really tough one.
And there's no guarantee the funding will continue.
And there's absolutely no guarantee it will continue.
So they could leave behind their career, move into this thing, and then the funding disappears, and they are got nothing
They
again.
have no job.
But my understanding was that the funding was there to put another 2 or 3 practitioners in Brackenburn. I've got the name right, is that correct? And then also support more endocrinologists, because at the minute, for trans healthcare endocrinologists in NHS, there's only one in Northern Ireland. Yeah. And he went out sick as he was in a very bad car accident and suffered brain damage, and it caused a massive uproar because there was no one supporting the people that were.
I mean, it's just even on the level of trans issues. Every trans person's their own person and different issues and different.
We've become our own doctors near enough.
Yeah, well, that's always been kind of the way too back in.
We should probably talk about. Not something both of you, either of us engage in, but DIY, and this is what has happened as a result.
Oh yeah,
yes.
So
that's what I mean by becoming our own doctor.
So explain that to us.
Sourcing, not necessarily through entirely traditional or legitimate means. Your own hormones.
Okay.
And then managing your own healthcare,
like online or through friends of friends. Or
the trans community has become its own wise women. We understand our bodies and how they interact with hormones in many cases. Basically, a lot of trans women I know have gone in and explained how this works to GPs when they're in that position and told them a lot more about how it works, and they're educating them about how this stuff interacts with them.
In terms of like dosages and what you need.
And they're finding the relevant research, not just from ourselves, but our community has found the research that is relevant and is presenting it to GPs. And this is a very good thing for us because we can outmaneuver these buggers.
Yeah.
We're better educated.
But you shouldn't have never been put in that position.
We should never be put in that position.
And DIY is a lot cheaper as well.
It's much cheaper.
Because you don't have loopholes to go through. But if you want to travel with it, it's a lot more difficult.
So we're talking about hormones here. We're talking about injections. We're talking about tablets. Is this what it is?
You can't get injections. If you're male to female, you cannot get injections in the UK legally.
So male to female?
So, but you can get injections through DIY.
But you can.
But one of the things I should say is the people who don't listen to the community and do run away and just do it the way they want to, there's significant health risks associated.
Safety risks.
If you're not doing it properly.
I'm just going to bring that up.
This is one of the dangers. So by neglecting to fund, you are putting more and more of us at risk in the short term, and in the long term, it can be very consequential damage.
And I don't mean that this by any bad way. There are people out there that are DIY and that don't know what they're doing to save their lives, and it's crazy. It has to come to that, and that's coming back to that point.
And so, if for anybody that is out there doing that, like, what would you recommend for them?
It's a hard one because there's not really a lot of options, you know.
Yeah. But do you feel like there is a bit of a community here somewhere that they can do or speak to other trans people that, you know, as a network?
If we were living in England, I would say Dean Street in London.
Okay,
It would be nice to see something like Dean Street in Northern Ireland, where you can go.
Or Ireland, maybe.
Or Ireland, you know. I don't think there's a Dean Street in Dublin.
Then we're on blurry lines with legal stuff as well, and it gets a bit
weird. But if there was a Dean Street in Northern Ireland or Covenant, it would be a really good case because it allows people to go in and do their bloods safely and do everything safely, because you are taking something, even for a trans man, you know, someone who's transitioned from female to male, taking testosterone, if it's taken the wrong way, can have really bad consequences.
We learned that from the gym bunnies.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so this again comes back to, you know, what can people do? There is limited resources out there, because the easy thing to say is just go to the doctor and get support, but obviously that's non-existent. You know, there are organisations out there that kind of help fund. So Ann Health is one, where they have funding where they can make it available to people who are maybe less fortunate, i.e. from a financial back, not well financially off. So they do have funding for that, but they can't obviously fund them. They would love to be able to fund everyone, but they can't.
Yeah.
So we're trying to group money together to fund people to go to private healthcare to save their lives. I'm so sorry that I've been so ignorant for so long, but this is a fucking disgrace.
So
it should be on the news, darling. It's not your fault.
But at the same time, it's like, this is again the reason why we're having you girls on.
And the other thing about this is, you know, for trans people that are now showing their true selves out in the world, employment becomes an issue. Then so how do you play for these things? And you know, it's not everybody's predicament, but it is a reality of certain places that
have you felt
you
that?
know.
I had surgery, and surgery cost me 5 figures. You know, and it was an astronomical amount of money, but for me it was necessary.
Of course.
You know,
Well, that's an example of,
it's something that should have been accessible in NHS, but it'd be something we've been waiting years for.
But it also, for anybody that doesn't really have any exposure to trans people, it really shows like the amount of money that and the sort of reach that you want to go to really be how to exist and see how.
I've had to explain to people like going, it's the equivalent of buying another house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've already got one to pay for. So that's functionally they're taking it further and further away, and with the current economic climate as well, the two things are moving further and further apart. We have less money, and it's becoming more expensive by the year.
Yeah.
So the gap is so wide. It's such a gulf now.
Is that why you both are so heavily involved in campaigning and activism and all of that? Do you know?
It's one of the reasons why I tell my stories, to help other people sort of navigate, understand where they can go, what they can do. Like recently, so I'm post-op. I had vaginoplasty 2.5 years ago. And
Fabulous.
I had an issue this time last year, and it was something quite simple, but it was still something I said I need to get checked out.
Yeah.
And I understand going to A&E was quite a difficult thing to do, and it wasn't really an option. But I didn't really feel a need to go to A&E because it wasn't life-threatening.
Okay.
But I knew I needed to see someone particularly, so I won't name the consultant I seen, but I seen a consultant who was really super friendly. I did have to go and see him privately, was the only thing, because the waiting list for this person was quite long in NHS in general. So I went to see them privately, and they admitted to me in the appointment, says, listen, I might not be able to fix your problem, but I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and help you find it. If I can fix it for you, I'll fix it for you, but if I can't, I'll try my best to try and navigate where you can go next.
Again, another good sign of good practitioning, right?
Absolutely.
It's like
health services full of good people.
The person said to me, he says, like, I want to do what I can, even for trans masks as well, but even they said themselves they're restricted to the red tape, what they can do and can't do. And in my particular case, he examined and he took a look and he was like, I think I know what your problem is. He explained it and he was like, if you try this, that'll stop. And guess what? I tried it and it stopped, and it hasn't happened since. And it's great, And
it's because it's still a learning experience for you as well,
it's a learning
isn't
experience for me, but it was a learning experience for them. And they even said themselves, like, I'm trying my best here, So that's why I say my experience with health practitioners, in most cases, has generally been okay. I generally haven't had an issue.
It's not the practitioners, it's the system.
It's the system
really
that's the problem.
Yes.
It is the system that's the problem, because there are a lot of good doctors out there.
Yeah.
There are also a lot of bad doctors out there, but there is a lot of good doctors out there.
It's almost like the body of the NHS doesn't match the mind of the NHS, and it could be
Love that.
correct to the line.
Love that.
Much like
The NHS is trans. Okay, there we go.
Can we be
figured it
the
out.
hormones?
Oh my God.
Sorry, I had that idea in that cover. I was like, that's much too clever. I was get rid of
I love that.
Was there a big red bus we seen one time that said 350 million sent to the EU, let's spend it in NHS? Where did that go?
Yeah.
I was alive.
Yeah.
We all know it was
obviously a
lie.
lie.
We all know it was a lie, of course. But,
Sean, you have a lot to say on this matter, so let me hear what you're thinking.
Well, yes, not to be that person, but so I wanted to ask, because Jesse, you've mentioned that obviously as a campaigner you've raised money for various charities, BTRC. In terms of trans services, charities, local, have you used them? What's your experience with them? How vital are they? And of course, that's your chance to plug.
In terms of the charities are very vital, and the various organisations. I mean, I'm sure people will know them, but Belfast Trans Resource Centre, the Rainbow Project, we've already talked about, and I'm having a complete blank. My brain's here, but working with with some of the gay organisations and Sapphic organisations that we also work with, but they're all very supportive, and these, well, as you said, you're more of the admin of all this sort of thing. I'm much more front line. I'm
not front line.
Well, no, you're pretty front line. It's just that I'm a semi-professional gobshite, because I am quite comfortable sticking myself in front of a room full of people and making a bit of a tit of myself.
Or just speaking up.
Well, no, and just speaking up, but at the same time, I am very capable of making a tit of myself. And I'm not worried about it. The reason I can do what I do is because I've already done the scariest thing I'm ever going to do, which is go outside in a dress. So actually being someone who stands up and speaks and says stuff is very easy, and I'm aware that cis people need to see someone like me being happy and working and it being right.
Yeah.
And also some people who may not realise it yet need to see someone like me being okay and being, I don't want to go too far, but being at least a bit successful.
Yeah. Thriving, not just surviving.
I am relatively thriving. I am so much better than he was.
Yeah.
I am so much happier than he was. I am so much richer, not financially, than he was. I'm poorer. In the traditional sense of the word. Much. But that is the what it's for.
Yeah.
I'm not involved in the nuts and bolts and the nitty gritty of what you do. There are people who are much better at it than I am. But
you're still a vital cog in the wheel.
Yeah,
you get bums and seats, you get people buying tickets.
I'm very happy to make sure the people are there and be there and keep them happy while they're there and tell them the important stuff.
Yes,
while being a bit of a funny twat about it.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, tell us about the comedy. When did you get into comedy?
Oh, that was my own fault. I used to work in a bar where we used to have comedy on in every Saturday afternoon, and it's not the biggest place, so you'd see the same ones coming around. And I'm a bit of a sarky cow. So I start, that looks easy. You're making a big old... No, you're doing the same jokes again. Yeah. So they made me do it. And to be honest, it went really well, because I was like, this is easy. You're all fucking rolling around. And other sort of shite like that. And it went really well. I spent about a year kind of not really doing it properly. And then it's just become quite a regular thing now, and it's getting better and better. There's me and two girls doing our own show at the Accidental. I'm going to plug something. I'm doing doing a fundraiser for Trans Pride at the OES Centre on the 1st of August. It's been run in association with a local promotions company who are very, very supportive, called Drag Wounds Promotions. They tend to do metal stuff and punk stuff. Maybe not my entire vibe, but no, I'm very happy to go along with them. And I did the same event last year, and it was magic.
So what's the date?
Where's that going to be?
That's the 1st of August this year at the OES Centre. It's going to be glorious. Tickets are already on sale. There may be another event too, and I'm doing something else that's for Trans Pride, which is being run by Upper Women, one of the local fanzines, and they're doing an event over at Paperclips, and I think there's myself, Alexa Moore, and Hysterectomy on the night.
Another future guest in the pod. Hester will be on.
They're great crack. You can have a great time.
Go and sell them out so we can get a second night.
Absolutely.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yes.
Just a wee point that we had found with Ross and saying that, giving people the access to humour and the full package and trans joy and speaking about all those things is something that I wanted you to both touch on today, because I feel like anybody that's maybe watching or listening and doesn't know a trans person, but to see a fully developed, happy human being is the important part. Yeah. It's more important that message gets pushed than all the other stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of my trans joy moments recently was taking part in a stripping competition in England.
Oh yeah!
Spell.
Hard to go.
It was wild. It was such an incredible experience. Like, we were talking, what kind of places in England were supportive, and the competition was in Darlington. It was called the Northern Naughties. Some of the competitors there were absolutely incredible. Now, you go to a pole dance competition here, it's a lot more restricted in terms of there's clothes on, because obviously we can't take tops off, we can't take bottoms off.
Boring.
Thanks to DEP. Fuck a DEP, more like it. But you go to England, it can all come off, tops and bottoms, and like some of the competitors there were incredible. I unfortunately injured myself halfway through my performance, so I couldn't finish it off. But I didn't want to finish it off completely, because I could have finished it off, but I would tore my knee. And I was like, no, I'm not.
I'm so glad that you were stripping, and I was worried about what could have got hurt.
So there was actually there was a trick I was about to do where it was to go up onto a chair to do a headstand on a chair.
Right.
And it was before that I felt my knee going, and I was like, I'll try and get up a wee bit, but I won't commit to it fully just in case the knee is going to completely lock out. And I felt it starting to lock out. I was like, no, do not commit your knee. And my head said, do it. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it.
The adrenaline.
The adrenaline.
I've jumped into a few dodgy splits in my day on adrenaline.
I just put the axe up and said, I need to stop because my knee's about to buckle.
Okay.
And the judges actually gave me credit for it, for saying you did the right thing to stop.
Yeah.
But it was such an incredible moment. I learned a lot from that competition. Even the organizer of that competition, I was considered to be, she's like Elle, but Elle on steroids, because she's fucking absolutely mental. But in a good way, in a really good way. But yeah, no, it was an incredible competition, and certainly one I'll probably be back at next year.
Pole dancing such a body confidence thing for women. Like, I love it.
Massively.
Yeah.
I perform 3 or 4 shows now, mainly for Cincinnati Cabaret. You were on
Yes.
one of them with the comedy you did last year.
I was, yeah.
And
I had Dick on the podcast, so he knows some of those as well. Yeah.
Look, Dick's probably one of my biggest fans as well, but I just like to bring a bit of humour to the stage. Like, I do a little bit of lap dance as well, but my lap dance is a bit more comedy style lap dance than sexy style lap dance.
Well, we all know anybody can laugh you into bed, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Really? I didn't know that.
That's the comedian.
Yeah, I think like just being able to do that. Like 10 years ago, you told me that I said, "Go fuck yourself, not a chance," you know.
Yeah.
And whereas now, it doesn't bother me to just basically be wearing a tiny brown and a tiny pair of pants being on stage.
Get a girl.
Yeah. I am planning something quite big. I just don't know when it's going to be, but I'm planning to do a bikini photo shoot when I trim down my weight. To try and I might blow up LinkedIn again. I have this habit of doing random posts on LinkedIn that go viral. I think one of my biggest LinkedIn.
That's so random.
LinkedIn. You can go viral on LinkedIn.
Go viral on LinkedIn.
No.
I think one of my campaigns I did, it got something like 750,000 hits in 2 weeks. And just from a simple happy birthday post, you know, that was it. But it's a really funny story about this, because I was talking to Neil last week about this over in London. You could be doing something quite serious on LinkedIn or Instagram and Facebook, and you may be trying to build up a reaction to it, and you maybe get very poor turnout, but then you post something absolutely ridiculous, like something daft, like a crossword, and people go absolutely
because it's breaking the algorithm, they're pushing it, is it?
It's like something like this.
See, you're putting your heart and soul into something to really push it out there, and the algorithm says, fuck you, I'm not doing that. But you put something like a crossword puzzle, like, here's the algorithm, just push it out.
So where do they follow you on LinkedIn is the question.
There's some interesting posts to put up on LinkedIn, but I seem to know how to break the LinkedIn algorithm. But
I love that. That's chaos.
But even with LinkedIn being such a corporate world, like a lot of my stuff is in the corporate world, and I don't hide stuff in the corporate world, you know, because there's no need to. Like, I remember one day, this is a customer 2 years ago. I was going to, this is just maybe about 2.5 years ago. I was going to Portugal for a holiday, and I was just saying on a call, I don't know how the conversation came around about poles, but somebody was talking about a pole, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm looking at a pole dance club here in Portugal, and I knew the customer's a safe space, and the customer's like, Lauren, pole dance club? I don't know, I'm an amateur pole dancer. And you talk about a person's face going pure white. They're like, you can't make me speeches, but even literally just make me speeches for what you just said.
That's exactly the reason you're doing it, isn't it?
Was the other guy on the phone, he was smiling from ear to ear because he knew he could try and get it down so he could. But it was quite a funny moment. But yeah, a lot of my stuff I do in the corporate world, and I don't, like, once I post something on LinkedIn, I'm still posting on the other social media channels, you know, and I might censor a little bit about LinkedIn depending on what's on, you know, but I still would push it out there, you know, because it's important.
Not you getting shadow banned on LinkedIn, imagine.
Probably. I haven't been shadow banned on Instagram yet because my account's obviously private. Yeah. So it's less likely to get private there and shadow banned on a private account. But it wouldn't surprise me at some point in getting shadow banned on LinkedIn. But yeah, no, to come back to like the photo shoot with the bikini, it's just to sort of help promote body confidence within people, because this time last year I'd been probably about 6 stone heavier, because I've lost 6 stone since last summer.
Wow,
and take the pole's helping that as well, yeah.
Pole's been helping it, walking a lot more. I changed jobs last year, and it was a big impact with it too, you know. So, but another bit of weight to go. But somebody said, "Oh, have you been jamming yourself?" I was like, "Absolutely not. Just going the hard way about it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's something more rewarding. I mean, the temptation for me to go on Aussie,
Manjaro. Yeah.
or Manjaro, whatever. But I'm still sticking into the I'll do it the hard way to.
Best way I always say is make sure you're getting 10,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's like an hour at lunchtime, go out for a walk.
Yeah.
And that's something I do when I'm in town. Doesn't matter if people are looking at me, I just go for a walk.
You think all the bouncing about in heels would help, like, but
Yeah, no, it does.
Swinging around that pole.
Well, you build calves up and you build muscles.
But it's the double vodkas and Sambucas does the damage.
Yeah.
Right, we'll take a wee break and we'll come back for the last wee section.
Cool.
No bother.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're back. We're back
Yes,
again.
we're back. We've been gas bagging even off her. There's
Yeah.
probably
We
so much to
haven't
get on.
shut up, have we?
But we did touch on a wee conversation, and I wanted to ask you, and I have been kind of asking our other guests, what do you think we can do better as a community, or what's, in the small way, a big way? What do you think?
For me, it's supporting trans charities, that are helping communities, be that the likes of Not a Phase that I previously touched on, who are helping uplift, but from a medical point of view, the likes of Ann Healthcare. They do regular fundraisers to gather money through the year to help pay for the medical care for trans people. Money is important, obviously. Not everybody can give, but those are some examples how you can contribute to trans people. But one other point I would say is hire trans people. I am quite successful in a corporate world. I'm a senior manager, and I will give people opportunities if they want them. So hire trans people, let trans people work, let trans people thrive. Just because they're trans doesn't make any difference. If they could do the job, who cares? Just hire them.
It should be a non-negotiable. That should be a baseline.
Correct.
I don't even. It's crazy to me.
Into consideration.
No,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be taken into consideration. You shouldn't have to feel fearful. And
If you're capable of doing a job, you should be employed. It's
I'm
bottom of that.
technology at the minute to try and improve the lives of trans people in the workplace as well. So further to that's come in the future.
Oh, wow.
Yay.
Great.
And from my side, doing it again. From my side, it would be please, if the more you look like the base of the politicians that you support, or the politicians in your area, the more you look like the sort of person they expect to vote for you, please contact them and say, and say why is it the way it is? Because they are scared of you. You are the people who can take away the job. And if enough of you are actually saying, why are you leaving these people out in the cold? Why are things the way they are? That's the sort of thing that actually makes them change their mind. They don't. I'm sure many of them have a moral compass and a direction they're travelling. But if you threaten their job enough, they will change their mind whether they believe it or not. And that is why I think really those voices are really important. I mean, we can talk to them all day long, but they see it as self-serving.
You're saying it really nicely. Everyone in this community, if you support a trans person or you consider yourself a part of this community, go to your local authority and fucking make a change right now. This is a disgrace
Send an email.
That these humans
a message on
cannot. That
Don't
these
send it
humans.
on Twitter.
Don't send it on Twitter.
Don't send it on Twitter.
That these humans cannot access healthcare, are struggling financially to be able to live. They're on the brink of suicide, some people, and they can't access help. It is not okay. So if you feel that you're a part of our community, get the fuck off your hole, ring your local authority and make a change. It's as simple as that. Thank you.
You beauty.
Anthony has been awoken. The beast within Anthony has been awoken.
I've been walking softly too long and I've forgotten
No,
my big
I'm
stick. but
sorry.
Here he is.
No, I'm sorry. It's like, get it together, bitches. We've been me included. I've been ignorant for too long. This is a fucking disgrace.
We
I'm so
radicalised
sorry.
you.
You have, and you have also galvanised me, and you don't actually understand how much of a fucking change one person can make. I'm a fucking hateful cunt when I want to be. When I'm telling you, see half those cunts in their jobs, see if I really want to, I'll fucking force my way in that door and I'll make sure that people will listen. And I will galvanise everyone around me. So I'm sorry, but we are very privileged to be in the position we are. Fucking get it together. Get your fucking dynamo. Put your dynamos down and fucking your glass away.
Storm Anthony is
and start
coming.
reaching out.
Just to add to that point as well, if you are in that position, you want to help and you don't know how to help, reach out to a trans person that you know.
Yeah.
You know, reach out to a trans person and speak
people.
up,
But I don't know trans people, and that, like, I'm only realising now.
do know, don't
I
you?
don't.
You know
I do now.
You do
Yeah,
now.
but I don't. So I don't. I have never been able to.
We've been silent for so long.
Yeah, I've never been able to understand the struggles that you're going through because I am not feeling those. I'm not going through those, and I 100% it's complete ignorance and just my path of life that I've never met beautiful souls like you.
You need to realise you've given us a voice here today. That's already doing something.
No, but it's not enough.
It's a start, and I'm happy you're here.
Enough. No, and I get it, but it's not enough.
But you seem keen now, and that is a really good move.
And I get that, but I want our listeners, and the reason we're doing a podcast like this, the reason we're doing a mini series about this, is to fucking galvanise people, is to put a fire up their arse. Changes need to be made. We can't all do it overnight. We understand that, but you need to get together. We need to come together as a community.
Adding on to that point, you guys aren't the only podcast in Northern Ireland. If there's other podcasts out there that want to understand, reach out to us.
Yes.
Have that conversation with us. We're not invisible people.
It's for all of it. It's what has been a current thread through all of our episodes that we've done is just visibility for us all and like representation for us all. I think we all relate to that. You being at the award ceremony, you in the comedy circuit, like seeing people like you there, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's creating more diversity and better conversation, more interesting conversation. Listen to what we're listening to in the world.
Absolutely.
Nobody watches the news because it's the same conversation all the time.
No one watches a lot of comedians because it's the same fucking jokes. No one can copy my jokes, bitches.
You get away with all that, Tracy.
That's that Shane
I am going to get destroyed for that later on.
Clip me.
The comedians are not going to book me anymore, are they?
Girl will start her own night. It's okay.
Allow us to have a voice. It's not just the big names that have the voice, but a lot of us smaller people don't really have a voice. Allow us to have that voice, just because the big names in town doesn't mean it's all about that one person.
No.
There's a whole lot of other people around there.
Yes, exactly. And it's also because, like, we found that in the episodes that we've had over this series, like, just people that we know, but when we sit down and talk to them, it's so interesting. You find out so much more through a conversation. And like this bit of crack and like it's like lovely.
All I want to know is like the nitty gritty. It sounds so bad, but I'm such a nosy bitch. I'm like, so where'd you come from and how many brothers and sisters you used to have and what happened and who said what? And that's just me. I want them all. I want them all. Give me all the details.
Right, just to wrap it up then, and we'll finish with a wee bit of crack and a bit of joy. Okay, who are your trans icons?
Oh yeah.
For me, it has to be Nadia from Big Brother.
I love this.
She just got a facelift. Did you see that?
Yeah.
She just got a full facelift. I haven't seen the results, but I've seen it on Daily Mail.
She did.
I mean, I love her.
I'm not promoting the Daily Mail. Sorry.
Boycott the Daily Mail.
Sorry, boycott. Well, they posted her. Is that another thing?
But kind of go back.
Sorry, Lauren.
Go back to that point on Nadia. Like, what was that? 2003, 2004. And social media was a thing then, and everybody got behind her, everybody supported her.
Again, because we were living in her world, she was on TV, and you got to see the human, and that's the whole fucking point.
She pulled everyone together.
Yeah, she was just an incredible human being.
She needed a cigarette.
She needed a cigarette.
Really did.
You should talk to her in the past tense. She's not dead. She's alive.
She actually took part in a history event there a couple of weeks ago with Neil Hudson, who I've become friendly with recently in London, and he was doing Neil was doing a history event with a few different trans people, and Nadia was one, and I can't remember the other guy's name that was on Big Brother recently, trans male. I can't remember his name, but they both were on. They were having that conversation.
Right.
And
was he dark? Yes. Dark hair? Was he on the most recent one?
Yeah, the most recent.
What was he called?
I can't remember what his name was.
I haven't seen the recent one so much.
We could put like a little thing across the screen to say what his name was.
Zena? Zena?
Zena, it could have been Zena. It could have been Zena.
Darker trans male.
No,
so you got to see Nadia in person.
I didn't get to meet Nadia in person myself, but she is a trailblazer icon for the community.
Totally,
Snaps for Nadia.
She was the first one on UK mainstream TV. Really, you come across.
Yeah.
I do say, and I'm not counting this as my trans icon. I said early on in this. In this country, we won the hearts of this with Hayley on Coronation Street.
She
was allowed to exist for so long, and
hardly British soaps make it into every single episode of this podcast.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone really loved Hayley, and then there was that huge episode at the end.
Yeah.
And that was devastating, and
really
everyone
was.
accepted it. It was just the way of it. It was.
Soaps
it was an early
are
plot
important
line.
in day-to-day life and
And
storytelling.
And I've always said it's kind of like, everyone's pushing against, but actually this fight was won in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because my ma and everyone's ma
See, you do know
kind of
an
loved
icon.
them.
You do know an icon.
Well, no, I do. I've got my actual answer because I remembered.
Okay,
I've got one. Well, no, the before we'll talk about. There were times when certain things really touched with me, and I didn't really understand why. There was a film, or a book actually originally, called The Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, and there was a character which was based on a book and played by themselves called the Lady Chablis.
I've heard of all this,
And
but I've
Lady
never
Chablis.
seen
Lady Chablis, she is a trans woman who lived in Savannah in Georgia.
Why do I feel like I know what this is?
Oh, and it's just and I saw that film and I was like, that woman's incredible.
Midnight
She's
in the
Garden of Good and Evil. It was directed by Clint Eastwood.
Was she a black?
She's a black lady.
Yeah, I feel
and
like
John
I
Cusack's in it. An actor who has had some allegations against him, and it's a shame he's in that film because I quite like it, but I'm not sure about that man anymore. Old Spacey. He's in there. So if you can't tolerate that man, you shouldn't be going there.
Okay.
But you could read the book because it is a very good description of this.
When was the book written?
The book was written in the 80s, I believe.
So is Lady Chablis or Chablis?
I think it's like the white Chablis.
Chablis. So is she presented as a trans woman, or is it a trans woman?
She's presented as a trans woman. I think she's worked as a drag queen, but she's now a trans woman living in this weird place, Savannah. She meets this journalist who's only come to really cover something and ends up involved in there is a murder. Yeah. And he ends up sticking around to write about the murder, and he becomes very good friends with this trans woman. And in the film, it's presented very, very beautifully and tenderly, these little things. And she's just so, oh no, honey, no. And she's always blagging away into situations, but just being a bit too much. Oh, honey, darling. She's just such a wonderful Southern Belle lunatic.
I'm here for it.
And if I'm going to put something forward, and honestly, I've not looked into what this woman has gotten to since, and I'm a little concerned, like, going, Christ, I hope she's not done something fucking horrible.
Yeah.
But for a moment, I saw that in the cinema, and I remember just like going, that was one of the most interesting people I've seen in a film in years.
Right.
And in hindsight, I'm like going, oh yeah, I know exactly why that touched. So
that struck a chord with you.
That's mine.
It's like the trans performer in Paris is Burning.
Yeah.
And she's talking about shooting her real high, and then years later when she died, there was a body in a case in the back of her wardrobe the whole time. I forget what her name is.
I know who you mean. The wee blonde one with the big eyes. Is that her?
She was one of the older queens in the 70s, but she died in the late 80s, I think. And when she died, they cleared out her drag and her costumes and all this, and to get into this back closet.
Was it that room that she was filming in as well?
In the room just behind her.
I didn't know any of this.
Oh yeah.
There was a body in there.
There was a body.
Did she kill them?
Well, what the general conception was, it was a bit of trade that was going to kill her, and something happened, and she wrapped the body and had asphalted it.
Can you imagine the smell? Oh my god!
No, there was no clue at all. It's the way she'd wrapped. It was basically mummified.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
It's just because, like, my introduction to trans people, and I guess growing up in social media, was like Gigi Gorgeous, right? Yeah. Who is very much so like a very beautiful.
Somebody don't hear about very much right now.
I'm going to have to actually admit a lot of ignorance from being a former straight man. Who?
So, so Gigi Gorgeous is like an online personality. She started off as a young boy on YouTube. She's actually from Toronto, and then she transitioned online. She did. So she has like a documentary and stuff about her getting her breasts and about her going through her whole transition and coming out to her parents and brothers and all that. That was my experience of my first sort of interaction with trans people and seeing it online. Is there anyone younger or on social media that you see who are trans, who you think are trailblazing, are doing a great job, that people should follow or should engage with?
Olivia
or
Campbell.
do you feel like it is, do you think it's, and there's some people on there doing negative stuff?
From a positive point of view, Olivia Campbell, she was the first black trans woman to get a law degree in the UK, and has smashed it with Trans Legal Clinic. She is an absolute trailblazer.
Wow.
So she is. There's a whole lot of other ones, you know. Fox Fisher is doing incredible work.
What do you call the politician in Scotland? trans person.
I know who you mean. The new one who just got put in store.
J.K. Rowling's district.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Actually two.
There's two.
Yeah, there's two of them, but
There's
everyone's
two.
paying attention to the Rowling district one because
Yeah. Carmen Justice is beautiful on that one, right?
No, the poetry is gorgeous.
Yeah. But there's also other ones. There's like a girl I followed recently. I met in London last year, Victoria Oldman, who's the co-chair of Trans Pride in Hastings. She's doing incredible work as well. It's a name you don't come across, but when you know.
No,
about
but that's
you
what we want. We
come
want to
across
amplify
it.
our voices. Let's our audience.
all
who's
learn from
people.
Who's the DIY? Lady, blue-haired DIY trans woman from America. She's incredible. She's raised so much money, and she's teaching people how to trans women who can't do their own DIY. And I've forgotten her name. I wish I could
I know who
remember
you're
it.
talking about.
Yeah,
The
me
name's
too. And the
gone out of my
name's
head.
just escaping me. And she
We'll
Is
find
she
it
on
and post it up
YouTube? Is she
on-
on
she's
TikTok?
Instagram, YouTube. I think she's on YouTube. She's probably on TikTok, but I wouldn't know. I'm 50.
No.
But there's a lot of trailblazers out there. Adele Barker is one as well who I met recently. She's based in outside London, Essex area.
Yeah.
She was on the radio yesterday morning with a few others like Bobby Pickard. What Bobby does to trans the city, incredible work. Bobby is the way she comes across and talks about stuff. She's very calm-minded.
We need to mention some trans men. I feel bad.
Trans men already mentioned one.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that one.
Fox
Then,
Fisher.
oh yeah,
Bam is another one. Bam's another good trans guy that I've come across. Some of his content's brilliant.
that edgy
Oh, has he
kid
got Leo
whose name I
Luckily
can't
too?
remember.
He
Well.
talked about the whole toilet stuff recently. About when you look at Bam, you're like, you just look like a man. It's like. So you want me to go into the female toilets, and that whole thing. Some of his content's really, really good.
I mean, that whole thing, the math ain't mathin', and they didn't think that out, did they?
There are a number of trans men in the UK right now who are going to aggressively go in the girls' toilets on our behalf, and I love them.
As a point of activism,
And
I
they should.
appreciate that's disruptive and it's not very helpful to the women who are caught in it a little bit, but I appreciate that they're willing to put their bodies on the line in this way.
But do you not feel like it's at a point ware protest is needed? I know it already is. I know it already
We're
is.
in the loop.
But do you not feel like it's like the drums need to be banged, feet need to be stomped? Like, come on, get with it. Like, so I do feel like a 6 foot muscle Mary.
So
trans man needs to walk into a female thing and say, "Oh, well, no." But
there's a Pride coming up that I'm going to get dissed for saying to go to because it also clashes with Belfast Pride, and that's London Trans Pride.
Just say it.
Right, go for it.
It happens on the same day as Belfast Pride. I'll be at Belfast. I can't be at London, but if I wasn't at Belfast, I'd be at London Trans Pride. Last year, I got 100,000 people in Parliament Square.
Insane.
The year before, it was something like 80,000. So I only expect the number to be.
It's
a lot
growing
more.
and getting bigger.
And voices are being heard.
And when's Trans Pride here?
September, the second weekend of September.
And what can we do to get more support? We need businesses involved.
12th
and 13th.
We need to get businesses involved. We need to get. Who else we need to do? I have a business. I'll give money to use. What do we need? What do we need to make this a bigger thing?
Access to. I think Trans Pride got a pretty good funding last year that kind of helped set them up nicely for this year. But having access to venues, good sound equipment, different things like that to help sort of make a bit of a better presence on stage, because but also allies coming up to speak, because the more allies that speak up, the more it shows it's not all about trans people in the room. And I'm not.
There's a healthy balance there too.
There is.
I think I would consider myself an ally, but at the same time, I don't want to speak on it because I feel like we get heard enough. Do you know?
But also, the one thing I don't want to see on stage is a stage full of drag queens at Trans Pride. It's nice to see a drag queen if they want to do a particular show, but it's more about hearing trans voices and allies. Is
it more of a speaking thing, or could we try and get some sort of trans performers to come over?
It's more of a speaking thing at this point because I feel this year Pride can't be about a party because it is about a protest, because it's great to celebrate and it's great to uplift voices, but it's also important to be protesting.
This is my thought, and I could be wrong, but I do feel like in that sort of those week of events, is there not a night that we can host somewhere where a lot more trans people can intermingle and that's the space.
So that's something we're working on at the minute. I'm working on from a corporate point of view with Translicity.
I'm working on something else in the week as well. Is yours in the week as well?
No,
okay, good.
We haven't set a date yet. So what I'm trying to do is recognise. So Bobby did something in London for the whole of the UK, but as I say, there was only a small number of trans people recognised from Northern Ireland.
Okay.
But not every trans person from Northern Ireland would want to travel to London. So we're potentially looking at running a similar event in Northern Ireland to try and recognise change makers within Northern Ireland within the trans community. And it's an opportunity, but what I'm trying to do is to do it in a venue that's got no alcohol to try and make a sober venue, because there are a lot of people in the trans community that don't drink alcohol. Okay. You know, so if you were doing likes of the Maverick or Union Street or Kremlin or Boombox, people would probably get switched off to it because.
What about a nice dinner somewhere?
Dinner would be awesome.
Dinner would be cute. Maybe
dinner
a
would
restaurant.
Be cute.
Like a little like.
There's somewhere to suggest. I'll suggest it off because I don't know if they want me to, but I'll tell you when we get off.
Okay.
There
is a menu I would recommend for food, but the problem is it's too small. That's spaghetti arms, just too tiny.
Up the spaghetti arms.
Spaghetti arms. Arliana Michelle.
Probably enough to fit anywhere between like 50 to 100 people. You know, that's the kind of thing. It'd be nice to have that kind of, just because there are a lot of trans people in Northern Ireland doing a lot of work that don't get recognised.
Yeah.
You know, and some people might not want the recognition, and that's okay, but it's just nice to.
But even as a mixer and like a community thing for you, so that, do you know what I mean? Like that sort of spirit behind it.
Like you're saying there's only like 50, sort of 60 people that you feel like that need recognised or whatever.
I was going to say, we're a skittish bunch. Only 50 or 100 of us will ever turn up to anything. We'll be going, I'm not going out there. No.
The problem is, it's not. Sorry, this isn't a problem. But the thing is like there may be only 50 or 60 views, but there should be 1,000 of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where we're looking at a slightly bigger event. You know, there's likes of the Mac that is pretty friendly with giving venues out access to venues, and there's other venues as well. You know, I know that there's alcohol at it. Limelight are pretty good for stuff like that. They've got a pretty big access to the venue, but I think once we kind of know what the event looks like, then we can kind of look. But actually having access to a venue that's not only safe, but ideally that's a sober venue as well, so that people can actually have a bit of fun.
A nice gala dinner.
Nice gala dinner would be amazing.
Dappered up.
If we could somehow fundraise money to put on like a gala event, it would be amazing. Or a gala.
And we would dress
so like the week of Trans Pride, to have like some sort of gala dinner in that. Is that what you're talking about? You're talking about the week of just normal Pride?
No, let's
actual Trans Pride, probably.
Actual Trans Pride.
Actual Trans Pride. And then you could have performers who are from the community on stage. Yeah. Where that be pole, drag, aerial, whatever.
Okay, so all businesses that are online, we need you to reach out. We want to be able to try and fund some sort of gala dinner, some sort of an event for the week of Trans Pride, September
12th, 13th weekend.
12th, 13th weekend.
I think is it the Sunday the event's on?
Saturday's
the actual.
So Friday night we want a gala dinner.
Yes. No, I've got something on that.
Girl, you'll cancel it.
We'll figure it out.
September the 11th on purpose, obviously.
You're cancelling it.
Listen, that's we're going to wrap it up for there. We'll figure it out. But listen, thank you so much for coming on to share your stories. Thank you for your activism and everything that you do, campaign and all of that, and for coming on to share your stories.
Thank you for having
me.
Thank you so much. It's been so much fun.
Good. Thank you for you all listening. And we'll chat to you next week.
Bye.
And just one last thing, during this little Pride mini season, we're also trying to raise money. 50% of the money we raise is going to the Rainbow Project, 50% is going to the BTRC, the Belfast Trans Resource Centre. So jump into our socials, grab the link and donate whatever you can. Have one less drink of Pride and then donate the money that you're saving on that.
Donate. Dig deep.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Fill your boots. We're all hooked on Tootsie Train. Tootsie Train.